Good evening. My name is Karle Roberts, and I am the Family Engagement Coordinator here at Compass Charter Schools. I would like to thank all of our learning coaches and staff for attending this evening for our virtual Coaches Corner. At Compass Charter Schools, we have 5 core values. They are achievement, respect, teamwork, integrity, and communication with the acronym ARCTIC. These serve as our guiding principles for our scholars, learning coaches, and staff. Each month this year, we are recognizing one of our core values, starting with achievement. Throughout the month of October, scholars are invited to share their special achievements with us and receive recognition. We are excited to celebrate our scholars' special accomplishments and all of their hard work with the entire Compass community and beyond. When you work hard to attain a goal that you've set, it is so rewarding. So in just a little bit, when we open up our discussion, I hope you can share some of your goals that you are working towards, as well as some of your achievements. I am thrilled to have you joining us as we take a deeper look at the role of the learning coach and how that role progresses over the years as your scholars grow. This evening, we have the amazing Mr. Thompson, our online elementary coordinator, presenting for us. But before he begins, just a quick reminder, if you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the chat box, and Mr. Thompson or myself will answer them after a quick presentation. So now I'll hand it over to Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Karle, and welcome, learning coaches. We are so glad to have you here partnering with us at Compass Charter Schools. So before we begin, a quick icebreaker. So we're talking about the role of the learning coach tonight. And to start us off, who was an actor or an actress that you enjoy watching and why? All right, I see some names coming up in the chat box. I see there's Humphrey Bogart, there's Liz Taylor, Denzel Washington just floated by, Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper. Perfect. And I see that all of you like these actors and actresses. And actors and actresses make everybody happy. And we like watching them. There's Harrison Ford playing Han Solo. And when I was a child, I have to tell you, I was devastated when Han was frozen by Boba Fett in The Empire Strikes Back. Then it was equally devastated in Force Awakens when Han died. And at the bottom we see the cast of Scandal. That is a show my wife and I watch each Thursday. It's one of the few things we can agree on as far as a television show goes. So the point of this is that we like and we enjoy our actors and actresses. And we enjoy seeing them. They come into our home each week and they bring us joy. And we want to think about that attitude when we work with our scholars. We are partners with them. We're a coach, and we are putting on that role. And in the role of a coach, we're a partner, and we're there to motivate and to encourage. And we're there to help with organization each day, each week, using a calendar and other systems to work with our children. And we want to guide our scholar and our children towards independence. And that's the main goal that we have here at Compass. Now, in kindergarten through 5th grade, it's very important that you are a coach and you are a teacher. And there's Steve Kerr, coach of the Golden State Warriors, and I can tolerate Steve Kerr because in 1997 he sunk the final shot for the Chicago Bulls to win the NBA Finals over the Utah Jazz. And I'm from Chicago, so I can be a little bit happy with the Golden State Warriors. But you want to be like Steve Kerr for your kindergarten through 5th grade students. You want to be able to help them day by day. And success comes from working with the child each and every day. It's very important in kindergarten through 3rd grade especially that you don't leave the child alone. Leaving them alone by themselves is not good. They need you there to coach them, to help them through a lot of the lessons that we do, because kindergarten through 3rd grade is very important developmentally, and we want to get good habits built. As far as like phonics and fluency and reading, all those skills are very important, and they can't be learned independently. So we need to have you working with your learning coaches and working with your teachers and getting them to live sessions to really build those skills. 4th and 5th grade, we gradually want to move them towards independence. Now, they can spend some monitored time working alone, but still they don't want to be completely by themselves in 4th and 5th grade. We want to transition them into what's going to be expected in middle school. So definitely think by 4th and 5th grade, we can practice having the scholars sign into their email accounts on their own, filling out their logs on their own, and monitoring that, okay? In 6th grade through 8th grade, we want to look at facilitation. And we see this picture here. This is a partnership where everybody is holding hands. We're going to give the scholar more choices, but again, we're not going to let them completely off on their own. So for instance, we can have our scholars make their own calendar, and then you look at it and see if they're using their time wisely. The scholars should be completing their own logs, and the scholars should be emailing their own teacher with questions. We want to encourage that. So if the scholar gets stuck, they should be emailing the teacher themselves. They shouldn't have you emailing them. Now, they also need to have a check-in system. So it's very important for you, again, and some of the problems that I've seen, especially maybe in 7th or 8th grade, where a parent may go off to work and leave the child to work on their own, and then they come home and they think the child has been working all day long, but then they find out that the child hasn't. So it's very important for you to check in, to use your Learning Coach account, to look at the time that they spent, to check their work, always be making sure that they are working. But you're going to give them more choices to allow them to be able to create on their own. Now, in high school, we want you to be a cheerleader. Now, a cheerleader means this. You want to check in daily, okay? And there's a lot of expectations still for the Learning Coach in high school. I know when you get to high school, you know, they're 16 years old, 17 years old, 18 years old, becoming adults, and we think that we can just go to work and they're going to be fine, but we still need to be involved. So some of the things we can do, we need to be reading the Parent-Scholar Handbook with your scholar. You need to familiarize yourself with the PSP and access My Compass. Work with the scholar to create a daily, weekly schedule, including the learning labs. Create an organization and distraction-free learning space, and communicate with the teachers. You know, but the overall shift as the Learning Coach progresses to encourage and foster independent learning of the scholar and for them to take responsibility for their future success. So the important thing is, review and encourage, don't micromanage. Study out the teen brain. A very good presentation that I went to that talked about how teenagers are and how they're different. They're growing, hormones, and a lot of things are different. They may be mad at you for no reason and you don't understand why. It's their teenage years. You're going to have to be patient with them as they go through these things, as they want to be more adults, but then they have to earn that responsibility. So one of the things that I have here at Compass when I work with high school students is the position where teenagers don't manage their time wisely. They get into high school and they think, oh, this is a great program. I can work in my pajamas and I can start work at noon and sleep in the morning. My parents are at work and then I can work from noon to 2. And then the next thing you know, your scholar is behind. We don't want that. That's why it's important to check in with them, to make sure that they're working every day. You don't need to hover over them, but you do need to say, hey, you know what, can I see your work for today? I'm monitoring your account. It's similar to what you have a boss at your job that, you know, checks in with you from time to time. And that's the way we want them to see it, and that also prepares them for adulthood. So a cheerleader, you want to be encouraging them and compliment them. When they make their schedule, compliment them. When they check in with you, compliment them. And that will make them eager, and that will help them come to you more often. So that brings us to Karle's going to give us some discussion points, and then we're going to take your questions. I'm going to take it back to Karle.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Stephen. So we do have some excellent discussion points that we want you to be thinking about. You'll see them here on the screen. How are you implementing your role at home as the learning coach? So you see the progression. What is the age of your scholars at home? Where do they fit in? And how do you see yourself in that role as the learning coach? Where are you? What are you struggling with? And if you are struggling with it, have you set any goals to maybe help with that? Or might you want to start thinking about setting some goals to work on that? Also, what kind of achievements have you made? If you've been setting goals and you've been working towards them, we would love to hear from you of the achievements that you've made, because again, this month we are focusing on our value of achievement, so we would love to hear that from you. So I'm going to open up the chat box, and I'm also going to be turning off a recording now, so if you're watching the recording, join us next time live. We would love to have you live for this live discussion, but everyone else that's here, go ahead and sit tight for just a couple clicks, and we will begin our discussion. Thank you again so much for joining us this evening. I want to make sure that you know that we will be having our next virtual Coaches Corner on Wednesday, November 1st. This one will be in the afternoon at 1 p.m. So I look forward to seeing you all there, and have a great rest of your evening. Bye.